Project Zomboid is a difficult game, as they might say, but as usual, people who say that are suffering from what is in the medical field called an inverta arte exodus. Today I'll present how to conquer Project Zomboid by playing a morbidly obese character and fulfilling his dreams of losing weight and getting into a paradise island of Kingsmouth. We'll be playing on modified apocalypse settings with zombie count being increased but respawns disabled and loot being set to extremely rare. Mods will be probably provided in the description, however the most crucial one is going to be the expanded helicopter events, because I set all the spawns to insane, meaning that the Kentucky skies are going to look more like a Battle of Britain or something like that. Also, what's a little bit problematic is that county's government swooped in and destroyed all the balls, meaning that I'll have to get creative if it comes to getting onto the island. So, with that out of the way, let us commence forth.
Wow, the cringe is strong.
So, as it was a fresh map, I decided to try out the Project Sims mod, a map extension that adds recreation of Sims 1 map to the east of Moldra. And soon I realized that I made a grave mistake. See, for once, I forgot to disable the mod that shall not be named. Oh god, no, no, I forgot to disable this, no, 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 fuck. And secondly, the map is extremely unfriendly if it comes to spawns. There are no good loot inside, sheds, stores, leaving me with butter knives as my best weapon. In the end, I was forced out of my neighborhood towards a mansion where I realized that I had random zombies on. Furthermore, there are said to be super sprinters, so yeah. I remember now why the safe was called like that. So yeah, that's a restart. Enter Steve. Steve is a fireman who is an obese, prone to illness, thin-skinned man, which leaves me with a question on how the hell did he even become a fire officer in the first place. Anywho, our League of Legends player spawns in Rosewood, this time with proper zombies, but still with a slightly higher pulp, and my objective was, just like any reasonable players, that being to GTFO out of Rosewood as soon as possible. However, for that I'll need weapons, and the best that my starting cows can come up with is a comically large butter knife, which sure looks like a machete, but sadly isn't performing like one. Peeking outside, I start to do what any sensible player does and start, or at least attempt to start, clearing up the area. It goes less than swimmingly, as Steve, despite being pretty good at Link to the Past, is, let's say, less than desirable in combat. In my stupidity, I decided to jump over the fence, which on the other side had a nightmare that neither I nor Steve were ready to see. Oh! No! Yeah, you know, I feel like jumping over a fence towards the other house is a better idea. It appears that there was a party over there, but despite there being only 2 people, but hey, I'm not complaining, because it's going to be less work for me, but still, it's a little bit strange. In the meantime, I found a freak with a duffel bag, although I wasn't able to get it sadly. What is not sad is that this house almost killed me, not once, but... Uh-oh, uh-oh. Well, it's over. It's over. Having enough adventures for today, I return to my starter house and go to sleep. On the very next day, I continue to explore the gated community, and in the process, I kill a lot of zomboids and obtain a hatchet. Also in here, I get a pretty funny scene of me venting out of a window, which had a bozo crawling out of it simultaneously. Bruh. After that, I decided that this place is done for if it comes to me being in here. I had to get out of Rosewood now, or I can just start calling myself zombie food. I jumped over a fence and proceeded north to the central farmlands. Lost, hungry and tired, I stumbled across a jackpot, a survivor's hut, which, man, I can't believe my luck. Of course, I had to get rid of the previous inhabitants, but even with my disposition, this is not going to be much of a trouble. After checking out what's going on inside, I indeed hit an aforementioned prize. A machete, axe, and a Lucille. All for me. Damn, I was lucky. With that, I can finally think clearly and establish a plan going forward. So, here's Steven's great escape plan. The plan goes as follows. Firstly, I would like to get to the military surplus store in order to get a better backpack or a replacement for my machete. Then, I will like to reach the highway as there's a hunting store with supplies that could help me. Then, I would have to use that highway in order to make my way towards the shore. Then, I'll have to do the most excruciating thing, which is to build a bridge to Kingsmouth, and 5. Live like a god on a paradise island. But for now, it's time to eat something that isn't coffee for the first time in god knows how long, and thanks to the common sense mods, I can use my newly acquired machete to help myself and eat some canned food. I awake on the very next day, and I do what could be described as going insane as I started to read Forging Volume 1. Yeah, I have no idea why that I decided to do so, but hey, I guess that's in the script now. With that being done and dusted with, I can finally move on to the stage 1 of my plan and get towards the military surplus store. This, however, will take a lot of walking, so yeah. Eventually, during the night, I need to make a stop, and because I'm chased by like 2 groups of bozos, I presumed that those warehouses were pretty good places to take 5s. Well, I was proven half right, as the warehouse was a pretty safe spot, filled with vegetables as well, so I can finally eat something that, you know, isn't going to make me fat. But there weren't any options to put some Z's into me, so I had to fight my way towards the house which was nearby. I decided to spend some time watching TV, exercising, and killing zomboids outside. Eventually, the air presence forces me to migrate out of the house due to about 3 or 4 groups of co-free lovers migrating into my shelter. I managed to escape and I got myself pretty close to my first objective, which is the military surplus store, and eventually, after dispatching some of the undesired attention, I got into the car maintenance garage, which is rock froze from the surplus. Now you might be wondering why I didn't make a beeline towards it, and the answer is pretty simple. Choppers. There were actually so many of them that I was a little bit scared that they might start to open fire on me, so I took it easy for a couple of hours whilst eating some MREs and exercising. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention that I looted a supply crate when I was chilling near the warehouses. Regardless, after the air activity was suspended, I could finally reach the surplus and come out gravely disappointed as there isn't much for me to loot. Sure, there are a lot of small arms and munitions for it, but you know, just like with the shotgun in the first playthrough, it's going to cause more trouble than necessary. What I was looking for was a replacement for my machete, as I know that the good things eventually come to an end, and my Kokiri machete was definitely one of those good things. Furthermore, I didn't have any ways to repair it, so yeah, the surplus was really one of the better shots at finding a replacement, and the only thing that I found were a survivor knife, drip, and a comically large Alice bag. Next couple of days I decided to lay low and slowly grind my fitness, which was steadily increasing until a point where I hit a 2nd level of it, meaning that I am no longer as bad as I was initially. Hell, I fell from 130 to 125 kilos. Truly, I was starting to make progress, and I was actually looking forward to make this area my base, at least temporarily, but 2 terrible things had happened. One, The comically large Alice bag was gone when I reloaded the game, which means my axe, baseball bat, survivor knife, and all my food and water supplies were gone, and second, 3 hordes migrated into the area, and I was forced to once again GTFO and move through what I can describe as one of the most treacherous passages that the game has to offer, as there are at least a fuck ton of zombies all over the place, which doesn't make sense, it's a fort for God's sakes. There are hardly any stops that I can make, and the helicopters won't stop drawing their attention! Eventually I got to the end of this godforsaken road, and I could finally take shelter inside of a house, but first I had to take down the stragglers that are nearby, and also get it to a shed which had absolutely nothing inside of it. Marvelous. Now the reason why I've come here is pretty big, and once again it boils down to me trying to find a long blade weapon. This little area near the highway has once again a gun store combined with a hunting store and a standalone hunting store, which means that I'll have a pretty good chance at finding a machete, which of course I did not find, because why would I? Well, at least I found a lot of axes, which is pretty good considering that I'm a fire officer. The situation deteriorated fast from me trying to RP as my material grandpa during occupation and avoiding zomboids to scarlet level, as presumably thousands of them were in this little area, lured by the constant choppers, and I took them all and somehow did not get devoured in the process. From here, there was a straight shot towards the run-down, abandoned part of the map where my objective lies, or rather it's pretty close to it, but whatever. And so, you know what that means. So I eventually got into my desired location, and with that I got— oh, god damn it! Fine, I'll just duke them out and I'll be fine, probably. Although what sucks is that I won't be able to claim one of those houses, which sure are run down, but are infinitely better than this abandoned factory, which for sure is safer, but, you know, is still less comfy than a regular furnished house. Oh, beggars can't be choosers. Well, this is it. Steven is almost at the end of his journey, and the last step would be to clear out the nearby area of zombies and get tools. Wait, where the hell am I going to get tools? Ah crap, I haven't thought of that. Oh no. Oh dear.